Good morning. It's a foggy one here at Berkey, all the way from Waldron to Berkey. We're drying some corn, doing some electrical work here. We'll talk to Dad, see if we're ready to go start shelling. Well, good news, our buzzer works. So that bin right there is an old top dry bin that we put up. Starting it up now. We put that one up back in, I think it was 89, that bin went up. I didn't, I was 3. But either way, since we've moved the leg and the building and all that stuff to the other side of that bin, we wanted to move the fill buzzer that's on there. So Dad's been working on that. And it didn't work. He moved it and it didn't work, and so we had to redo some electrical and just got it full. So cart and everything is empty, the trucks are empty. We could go and shell. There is a lot of fog at the moment, so we're kind of waiting for that to burn off. I'm going to go spread out this load of fertilizer that we've got left, and then we will go to it, go shell. So this is the last field of beans that we combined. Last one we've got to spread potash on down here. We're going to use most of it up, not quite all of it, so we'll have a little bit left. We'll probably just go spread that in the corn stalks where we were working, because I need to get some phosphate fertilizer for these fields, and I'm just going to have the local place bring some because we aren't going to need a lot of it. They can put it right in the spreader for me. They use DAP down here, diammonium phosphate, instead of MAP, or monoammonium phosphate, so the rates are going to be just a little bit different, but we can figure that out. It's not a big deal. I just got to figure out exactly how much I need for them to bring me. So the other thing is, this is the field where I lost one of those guards on the cutter bar and the skid plate that goes underneath it. We're going to keep an eye out for it. I don't know if I'll be able to find it or not, but maybe there's a chance. I just finished up this field here. Fog's getting a little thinner, so that's good. We got about 5,000 pounds left in the spreader, which is about what we were supposed to have. So we're going to run down to the cornfield. It's just down the road here, and spread it out there. So we're just going to put 150 pounds on per acre here, straight rate, and should get it used up in what we've got harvested already. I think this will work. So this is going to be interesting here for a couple of reasons. So I do spread quite a bit of potash in corn stalks back up to Waldron, but usually we only do that where we have put chicken litter on the previous year, because there's not enough potassium in that chicken litter to cover the soybean crop and the corn crop and the soybean crop, right? On these fields, we usually put enough potash on ahead of the corn crop to cover the corn crop and the following soybean crop. So this would have had that potash applied a year ago. Now, I'm going to put a little bit more on here. I think our soybeans like potash. I think they like having that potassium applied right before we plant the soybeans, or that crop grows, instead of having just scavenge whatever's left from the corn crop. So it'll be interesting to see if this field has a difference in the soybean yield from spreading the potash right ahead of the beans instead of ahead of the corn crop. And 2, this field will get soil tested next year when it is soybeans, so that we'll know what we need to spread next fall for the following corn crop. And so it'll be really interesting to see if this shows up in our soil test on that half the field got spread and half the field didn't. So we'll see what happens here. Yep, that worked. Spreader's empty. I'm just gonna hold down this bin charge button because it runs the belt, gets that little bit off the sides that's still sitting there, and get it completely empty. I did call the local fertilizer place. They're going to bring me out some DAP here this afternoon, so we're going to get this switched over, and then we can spread that out the next chance we get, probably tomorrow morning, unless we catch the dryers today and got to kill some time. Well, it's 11:30. Fog has lifted pretty well. It's still a little bit, but we're going to go start shelling. We need some corn to keep the dryers moving, so we'll do that, get everything going, and then maybe we'll stop and go grab some lunch at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Whatever. Another day in the grain cart for me. Dad doesn't run the grain cart, so when it's him and I working, he's in the combine, I'm in the cart. When Brock's around, I get to run the combine. So that's how today's gonna go. He's got his bag of snacks there for his lunch. we'll get started. We should finish this up pretty easily today and hopefully get a good start on another field. We should have a pretty good day. I know it's a little later getting started than we would like, being almost noon, but that's okay. Sounds like he's having a little bit of trouble with stalks wrapping up on the auger. I'm just going to get out and see, are these stalks still wet? Yeah, everything's just damp. That'll get better as it dries out, but the dew and the fog this morning got everything wet. So you can see we did get a little tar spot out here. Came in late, but we still got some green in some of this stuff. And look how open that husk is. That lets it dry down really well. For 17-18% corn to be that dry with this much green in it, it's pretty good corn. All right, he's having trouble. Let's go see if I can help him. Oh, we got it cleared off. I sped up the feeder house of speed, so we're on speed 3 now. Trying to rip the stalks down a little faster so they don't break off. And we opened the deck plates, changed them a little bit. You can kind of see how this works here, where it rips the stalks down. The stalks are supposed to go down through the bottom of the head, down here, and just the ears come off. And for the most part, that works pretty good, but sometimes the top of the stalks break, and see, it's doing it right there. Starting to wrap up in that center, and it doesn't feed in. And it's a real pain. We're gonna have to let these stalks dry off and come back after lunch. This is what it is. Problem is, when you get all those stalks wrapped up in the center, it doesn't feed in good, and then you get all the ears flying around and all the kernels just fall off, and you end up with a bunch of shatter loss. A bunch of stuff laying on the ground, which we don't like. So we're gonna try and do a pan test at some point here today. Now is not the time to do it, but we'll get there. Grain carton's boring. I like doing it, but it is a little boring. So that is the fourth truck that we filled today. 4 maybe. Yeah, I filled the blue one first, so I filled them both twice, and he's not back yet. So we'll see if we can make another round here with the combine, and if he's back. We don't have a ton left to do. Let me get turned here and I'll show you. See, we're almost up to the houses there. So get out of the way. Yeah, I don't know if we'll try and finish this field and then we'll take a break and get out of here when we're done and go get some lunch or something. I don't know. We kept going. The stalks dried out. It wasn't really an issue, so that was good. But yeah, 4 or 5 more rounds if we can keep up with the trucks. Otherwise, we'll stop and get caught up. We're sort of catching our trucks here. I think I told you that already. Look at this. Dad's controlling the grain cart from the combine. That's awesome. Filling the back of it up now. See, it's the back full. Now he's gonna move me back a little farther. Fill the very back up. He's gonna push me back forward because he didn't like that. So he's about empty now, but if he's not empty when we get to the far end, he can't make it back to the far end of the field. So we've basically just got to unload the whole way. So we just kind of leave it run here. Probably should shut it off and then unload again when we get to the end, but we're the just leave it run type of people. How we've always done it. So good job, Dad. Way to go. I'll get out for a second and take a look around. We're getting towards the end of this field. Just I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 more rounds. 2 more rounds after this one. I think he's just got 8 rows left over there, so, and he's got some done on the far side. I got a second. I'll get out. We'll take some video. Do something exciting. Look at these whole cobs coming out of the back of the combine. That is awesome. So when we're shelling corn, we like to get reasonably large pieces of cob out the back with no kernels on it, which is exactly what we have here. And the reason for that is because it means we've got our gap between our concave and our rotor adjusted properly. And I mean, it would be better for these to be broken apart from a decomposition standpoint to get them to decompose and to break down. But if you don't grind them up, you can't get the cob in the grain tank. You know, when you get a bunch of little bits and stuff like this, then sometimes you get cob in the grain sample and stuff, and that's no good. Now, some of this is going to be caused by the straw chopper on the back, right? we got that chopper running there, and it's going to break some of these apart, but clearly not all of them. So ideally they would all look like that. That'll break down a lot faster than anything else, but we don't want them in the grain tank either. So how's our losses looking? I need to turn that pan on. Problem is he has to stop for me to do that. There's not much. Got a kernel there, got one there, got one there. It's like 2 kernels per square foot to equal 1 bushel per acre loss. So you know, it doesn't take a lot of kernels on the ground, but that's not 2 kernels there either. Watch the combine go by. See how little stuff is actually coming out of the back of the combine, especially compared to beans. There's a lot more with beans, a lot more dust and stuff. That has a lot to do with the fact that we're not running that much material through the combine in corn, especially with our little 8-row corn head. You're just not taking that much material through the machine, because most of the stalks and the plant material from the corn just passes right down through the bottom of the corn head, and we don't actually run it through the combine. That's how you can run all the bushels through and get the capacity. Because when you don't have to separate the kernels from all the stalk and everything, and you're just separating them from the husks and the cobs, you have a lot more capacity. He's getting good at the buttons. The machine sync buttons that we've got to move the combine, or the grain cart, forward and backwards to the combine. So, it's gonna get me full here. 55,000 on there. Cool. Phil is just pulling in with another empty truck, and that should be enough to let us finish this and keep everything on the cart the rest of the field here. So that's good. We'll get everything caught up, emptying trucks. We got to get moved. We've got to fuel up and get DEF in the combine. We'll talk about that when we're doing it too. We're having some issues. Not with the combine, with something else. And hopefully some lunch. I'm hungry. Watch. I don't know if you can see, but you can watch. This is our show off for the neighbors pass here. Get to do the one right along the houses. Almost camp corned it there. We're good. So this is a full pass, although there's a wet spot here. Didn't really get planted very good. I think I lifted the planter up enough that it wasn't in the ground and just tried to drop the seeds on top of the ground. They didn't grow. Imagine that. But yeah, this is the last full pass, and then we've got like a pie-shaped wedge left. Just not even a full pass worth around or left there. So good deal. Get him unloaded one last time here. that last point row. You should be able to get them empty. All right, cool. We'll change the landscape in a hurry here, so I'm hungry. Let's go get some lunch. At 3:30 in the afternoon. All right. Oh, is he going the other way? He's going the other way. Okay, maybe he's going to take that back to the farm now. I'm going to take this truck and head back to the farm. We got to get the grain cart empty yet. We got a little over 48,000 pounds on there yet. I was just trying to compare. Combine says this went 230. Now, we're going to take that with a grain of salt, though, because it also says that our wet weight was 1,043,000 pounds. But if we look up here, we've only so far offloaded 947,000 pounds. So even if you add that 48 to it, that puts us just shy of 1 million. So we're about 50,000, not quite 50,000 pounds heavy on 1 million. So that's about 5% off. 5% on 230 puts this closer to 220, 218 to 220. That's still dang good corn, but it's not 230. I'm just gonna park that there. I don't know where Phil's at with the grain and what he's trying to fill or not or whatever. So I see they're here bringing my fertilizer, so I'm gonna go out and talk to this guy out here. We're gonna pull ahead a little bit here. This is our DAP, diammonium phosphate. We're supposed to have 19,000 pounds. We'll see how close our scale is. Well, that's it. Do you think my scale's wrong, or do you think they gave me extra? Let's see if he's got a ticket. So yesterday, after I praised the fuel trailer, the DEF pump system's not working. I can't get it to pump any DEF, so we were trying to work on it today, thinking it wouldn't prime or something. I don't know what the heck's going on. We're gonna mess with it again, but we gotta figure out how to get some DEF out of there. I'm not very happy about that, because they just replaced this whole thing last winter. All right, we are ready to go. I'm gonna put this in the barn so that it's not outside overnight in the heavy fog and dew. Dad's taking the combine over to the next field. I'm going to take the cart, which still has the flashers on. Didn't know that, but that's okay. Yeah, we got some lunch. We got some DEF. I had to buy some buckets of DEF to put in the combine because the pump on my fuel trailer's not working, but they're going to send me a new one, I think. So we'll get that taken care of. Doesn't sound like we can do much tonight. We're full of wet corn. So the corn on the east side of that field where we just finished up was a little bit wetter than the other stuff. It was in the 19% range, which is not wet, but takes a little longer to dry. It also yields a lot better, so that's okay. Anyway, point being, we can only do 2 or 3 truckloads probably at this next field, and then we're gonna have to shut her down for the night, which means I'm gonna get home at a reasonable time today. That's okay. So here's our next field. It is 60 acres, 67 acres. What do we got here? 67 acres. And looks like that. There is a couple of varieties out here. So we have some more of the 102 day, the same variety that we were just in the last field on this side of the field. And then I ran out of that, and you'll notice right in the middle of this field, there's some corn that's a lot taller. There was a couple of experimental bags there, not experimental bags, a couple of competitive bags that I got to try. And it's a much taller hybrid. It's also a full season hybrid compared to this 102 day stuff. So it's going to be wet. It should be better yielding. We'll see if it is or not, but it should be. Just because it's 112 versus 102 day. And then we're going to jump over to a new 103 day that we have that I think is going to be pretty decent. So we're going to just get it opened up here tonight, get some endros done, a couple truckloads worth, and that'll be it. All the rest of the corn we have at Berkey is here, and then across the road, crossed over from where Dad's at there, we've got this field, we've got that field, we've got that field, and then there's one across the other road down there. It's all right here together. We've got my corn plot down here, but we're gonna be in this area for the next several days. We got the first round, or first unload done there, and gonna have a few minutes to sit here. I'm gonna wash the windows while I've got a minute. I made it. We made his round, we got time. Got the windows in the cart washed. I got all the windows on the tractor washed. They may not be perfect. They're a lot cleaner than they were. I need to do some on the inside, I think. Much better. Ooh. Ooh. Auger's still up. We're gonna get it folded down before we pull up there so we don't tag augers. Better hurry. Made it. We made it. We made it. And we can see, look at that. Look how clear you can see now. Dang! Much better. Now that window. She's smudgy. Let's try and fix it. Is it on the inside? A little bit. A little bit. Sure was. He is dang close to being full. Lights are on. Is he gonna make it? He's gonna spill some when he turns. Almost guarantee it. He's got to get turned around so we can unload going the other way. He's got 2 passes in there so we can do it, but watch this corner when he turns. Go slow, Dad. Go slow. Get in spot so he can turn that auger on. Don't stop. Don't stop fast. You gotta stop slow. Well, you can't see it now, but he made it. He made it. Didn't spill a kernel. Way to go. And that's going to be it. We got about 40,000 on the cart. We can't do another round and get it all off the combine. And while it's okay to leave some on the combine, we try not to if we don't have to, so we can close the covers up and stuff and keep everything dry. So we're going to call it there. We got that truck full. We got the grain cart reasonably full. We're going to park this, take the truck back. Quitting before it got dark tonight. What a deal. So it's about just before 7 o'clock. Should be home by 8. I'll see my kids. That's a good day. So we run these top dry bins, right? That bin there is a top dry. I've talked about them before. I'll show it again sometime. But essentially that big thing on the side is an air duct. It's blowing hot air into the top of that bin, and then we can hold 1,500 bushels of corn up there, and it blows that hot air through it, dries it out. That's how our dryers work here. So that one's a top dry. The little one over here is also a top dry. That one isn't very big. It fills up really fast. And so we've got to transfer the dry corn out of that. So Phil's pulling dry corn out of there now, putting it in the big new bin back there, and then we can dry some more. But that's what slows the process down. We used to run 2 of those top dries up at Waldron. The continuous flow dryer is much faster. They work great. They're just not real fast. Our fuel trailer is empty, so Dad's going to take that home, fill her up, and bring her back tomorrow. Oh, he just shut that off. I was going to say, you can hear that. We've got a distributor up in that bin. It spins around, and you can really hear the thing as it spins. You just shut the auger off. Climbed up the bean bin. Yeah, it's full. It's, Yep. We weren't getting much more in there, were we? All right, cool. That's a good deal. Climbed up the big dryer bin now. You can see how we hold some corn up here on the top. I won't be able to show it, but there's kind of a false floor up here. It's just a ring thick. And then that air blows in underneath it. I'd have to open that door to show you. We're not doing that. Anyway, this is our walkway over here to the new bin. Come up to the top here. I want to see this spreader. Oh yeah. So there's a rubber boot that feeds into this thing here, and then it kind of has a curve on the end of it, and this spins around. There's an adjustment there, so it spins around and corn falls out of it. All right, seems to be working. You can see where we're at up here, so we're filling that top dry now. Here's the bean field that we started with. Over there is the bean field that we did next. There's the other house and bins, the one landlord that we worked around. Another bean field over that way. And then clear over there by the houses is the cornfield that we finished in a little bit ago. And then we'll spin all the way around 180 degrees. And can't really see it, but somewhere over there on the other side of that barn is where we were just shelling. That building site right there. We were kind of on that corner over there. Combine's back in the corner by those trees. Well, it's back over there behind that house. So that's where the fields are at down here. Anyway, it's about time for us to go home. Phil's gonna stay here and get the dryer going, I think, for the next one here, and then head home, and we'll come back tomorrow. We'll see if it's foggy in the morning. All right, I'm just gonna wrap this one up here. So thanks for watching today. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Don't forget to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Tomorrow we'll be back down here. Brock's coming. He's actually coming straight from his full-time job that he gets off of at 8 a.m. Because it's a heck of a lot closer to here than it is to drive back home and then drive back here. So he's probably gonna beat me here by quite a bit. I've got to take the boys to school in the morning, and then tomorrow I have to be back by like 3 o'clock or something because my mom has something going on tomorrow evening. So I've got to go be with the kids and stuff, which is fine. But we are going to come down here. I'm going to get some seat time in the combine, and then Dad's probably going to come down, maybe not till later in the day, I don't know, but he can run the combine after I leave, or maybe we'll be far enough ahead with corn we won't need to do it anymore. I don't know. We'll figure that out tomorrow. We'll try and get that DAP spread out, at least some of that. And yeah, should be a good day. So have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.